Viewers of the ITV drama don't seem eager for the newcomer to remain, as she looks to be creating conflict between Lisa and Carla. Coronation Street watchers believe they're entitled to extra Becky Swain moments that have been left out so far, after they figured out how she might eventually be written out. Fans who follow the long-running soap aren't happy about the character's presence, as she seems to be causing tension between the recently engaged pair Lisa Swain and Carla Connor. This stems from the fact that Becky is Lisa's former wife, the same woman Lisa thought had been killed nearly 4 years back during duty, before she unexpectedly showed up in her lounge earlier this month. Lisa was left stunned to witness Becky alive and sitting across from her in the home she now shares with fiancée Carla, with the dramatic reappearance happening on daughter Betsy's 18th birthday. While a shaken Lisa struggled to understand if what she was seeing was genuine, Becky revealed she had been living in Spain under a false identity, placed in witness protection after a failed undercover mission. From that point, Lisa has been wrestling with her emotions while attempting to uncover the reality of the past. She even challenged her superior, D.I. Costello. Even so, he backed up Becky's account of events, though doubts remain about whether he's reliable, especially in the eyes of Lisa's coworker, DC Kit Green. Carla, on the other hand, is growing increasingly annoyed by Becky's reappearance, and soon decides to confide her doubts about Becky's supposed return from the dead to Kit. This follows Betsy skipping her classes to spend time bonding with her other mum. But when Becky tried to scold her over recent actions, Betsy lashed out, saying she had no right to act like a parent after abandoning her before storming off. Becky made her way back to number 6, only to be confronted by Carla, who angrily told her to stay dead. Becky ignored the warning and later approached Lisa again. When Betsy came home, she was enraged to see Becky there and demanded she leave. However, Becky handed her a bundle of birthday cards, each written during her absence, one for every year she missed, sharing what she wished she could have said in person. This gesture softened Betsy, who then told her mum to remain, much to Carla's irritation when she walked in to find a surprisingly cozy family atmosphere. Meanwhile, Coronation Street viewers are calling for more clarity around Becky's storyline and continue to ask why no scenes with Costello have aired yet. Coronation Street's Debbie Webster shares emotional warning as dementia struggle deepens. In Monday's episode of Coronation Street, Debbie Webster broke down as she made an emotional prediction about what lies ahead after digging into a messy family scandal. The Weatherfield favorite, who earlier this year was diagnosed with vascular dementia, had just begun piecing together the reality about her brother Carl and sister-in-law Abby Webster in last week's episodes. Viewers of the ITV soap will recall that Abby recently walked away from her marriage to Kevin after 4 years together. What she didn't admit, however, was that she had been carrying on an affair with Kevin's brother, Carl. Kevin had suspected something from the start, even confiding in his sister Debbie, who at the time dismissed his fears. But fresh developments came to light in the latest episode. While at the cabin with Debbie, Abby was being served by Rita Tanner when she accidentally dropped a keycard to a hotel. Already uneasy after finding Abby in Carl's hotel room the week before, Debbie once again felt that something wasn't right. Back at the garage, Abby scrambled to cover, claiming she had stayed at the hotel a while back and must have forgotten to return the card, a story Debbie wasn't buying. Carl then made a cutting remark, cruelly suggesting Debbie's dementia might be causing her confusion, but she refused to let him twist the situation. Later, Debbie was having a meal at the Rovers with her fiancé Ronnie Bailey when Ryan Connor phoned to report that a guest suspected they had been burgled, and the cameras on that corridor were down. Debbie rushed over to the Chariot Square Hotel to investigate, while Carl, fresh from another fling with James Bailey, soon had her pounding on his door, demanding explanations. She snapped, "So I must have just missed her then. I spotted her on the CCTV earlier. Did you interfere with one of the cameras on this floor?" Carl denied everything, but Debbie hit back. Yes, you did, because I saw her on a different feed, and I know she came into this room. Carl insisted he and Abby were just mates, but Debbie's eyes landed on a condom wrapper tossed aside. She seethed. Friends, you reckon? Before flinging a towel at him and storming out. As she left, she barked, Get yourself covered. I'll be in the bar. Once Carl had pulled himself together, he joined his sister downstairs and attempted to justify his actions, but Debbie had no patience left and walked away. Marching straight into number 13, she confronted Abby head-on, forcing her to admit the truth about their grubby little fling once Debbie laid out the evidence she had uncovered. Debbie was stunned when Abby confessed she planned to run away with Carl and even take Alfie, the son she conceived in her one-night stand with the late Imran Habib, along with them. Not long after, Kevin returned, and Debbie immediately grilled him about why Abby was still under his roof at all. When Kevin got home, Debbie continued pressing for answers, but he brushed her off, saying it was his decision who lived in the house. Debbie, still reeling, told him, I've been churning it over. But Kevin, unaware of his wife's betrayal, dismissed it as her dementia clouding things. On the edge of tears and visibly exasperated, Debbie let out a frustrated cry. I wish people would stop weaponizing my dementia against me. I'm far from the scatterbrained image they try to paint of me. Listen carefully. This is exactly what's happening. I refuse to watch you get taken for a fool. She's living here without paying a penny, leeching off you, and I won't stand for it. Kevin, however, remained unmoved and dismissive, insisting that Debbie should concentrate on her own matters rather than worrying about everyone else's. Later, Abby and Carl held a quiet, private conversation in which Carl urged Abby to maintain the current arrangement and keep their secret relationship hidden from the rest of the street. Meanwhile, over a casual chat in the pub, Debbie pleaded with Carl to just walk away from Abby, her voice tinged with urgency and worry, before returning home with her thoughts heavy on her mind. Once back, she devoted herself to arranging old photographs into a scrapbook, carefully placing each memory in its place. Ronnie, curious about the activity, asked what the project was for. She smiled wistfully and replied, I wanted a little trip down memory lane, while my mind still holds on to it. Ronnie paused to admire a particular family photograph of Debbie with her brothers. Clearly moved, he suggested, Why don't you get this framed? Debbie nodded, her eyes softening with nostalgia. Yes, something to remind me of the happy moments before everything starts to unravel. For fans keeping up with the drama, Coronation Street continues to air every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on ITV1, and episodes are also available to stream on ITVX and YouTube.